case against a suspect arrested over the weekend for alleged gang-related murders has been postponed to the 5th of January. He's one of several people arrested during the targeted raids conducted by police. Newzroom Afrika's Ziniko Mhlaba was in court earlier on and joins us live from Athlone in Cape Town. Ziniko, thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about, what it was like in court inside, because we know when it comes to gang-related issues, safety concerns, particularly at the Athlone Magistrates Court, usually arise.
Definitely, there were some tensions, but I must say that starting from outside, when we arrived here, there was a high presence of law enforcement agencies, just ensuring that even those that are walking past the court precinct themselves are safe, but also members of the media, as we're setting up in the morning, trying to deal with issues of, accessing the court proceedings where we're also made to feel safe. So there was high visibility, really reflecting what you just talked about, Linda, the issue of safety in this particular court. And actually, one of the suspects who just appeared today, was one of the people who is said to have been involved in the shooting that took place here in the very same court. However, he appeared alone here at the Athlone Magistrate Court. To understand that two others appeared before, a magistrate elsewhere. So joining me now, Linda, to really give us more details about this particular, appearance of this particular Mr. Jacobs is the Western Cape SAPS spokesperson, Colonel Trott. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to us about the importance of this appearance. The battle and chasing these gang leaders has been ongoing in the Western Cape for decades now. Talk to us about this milestone and the gentleman who appeared today. Who is he in terms of the bigger picture of the gang-related violence and arrest that you are making?
Yeah. The appearance of 38-year-old Ramesh Jacobs here in the Athlone Court this morning reaffirms our strong stance against gangsterism. We are in the process of dismantling criminal networks and the gangs to bringing them down in this province. Ramesh Jacobs is accused of a murder and attempted murder, a crime that he committed outside this very same court where we are today. He shot a person in cold blood not far from where we are standing now, and he, during a series of crime intelligence operations over the weekend, he was arrested together with two other suspects. As you rightfully said, the other two suspects are due to make their court appearances in Mitchell's Plain on similar charges of possession of firearm and also, serious cases linked to gangsterism. But in the process with our operations that's ongoing, we do not exclude the possibility of more arrests in these cases and also adding more charges against the ones that were brought before court.
I mean, Coroner, I know that you don't really get to talk about whether your case against this suspect or accused right now are strong enough, but in terms of your own investigations as police on the ground, do you think you've got enough information to hand over to the prosecutors to really prosecute this gentleman? So I guess my question is, how sure are you that we've got the right guy and you have the right information to really confirm and be comfortable that he's going to face the might of the law?
Yeah, but 3 weeks after the crime, the person was arrested and we did our homework. As I said, as part of intelligence-driven operations, a number of them, we brought a strong case before the court this morning. Our investigators are in the process to investigate further. Hence, the case was postponed until the 5th of January for bail information, as you heard in court. But our investigation is ongoing. When we bring a suspect before court, we don't sit back and relax. We keep on, because we are, as I said, we're in the process of dismantling the criminal networks. We're going after the shooters as well as the kingpins of the gangs. We're going to bring them down in this province, and we will not sit and look at criminals running around with firearms, shooting randomly in front of a court building. That's why we will continue with our stance against gangsterism, and we will continue to bring them before court.
I'm going to just talk about the other two that are set to appear at the Mitchell's Plain Magistrate Court. These two gentlemen, talk to us about the circumstances and the charges or what you've been chasing them for. And I understand that the matter-involved cases as far back as 2017, 2018. What are the challenges when it comes to getting these guys as soon as possible in terms of investigations and identifying them in the first place?
Like I said, yeah, you rightfully said that the other case is linked to a 2017 case. Also, it reiterates our stance that we will not give up. 8 years later, we are still looking for the suspect, and we brought him before court this morning. I can't elaborate too much on the case. I was not at court this morning, and I don't know if he has made his court appearance. I'm not naming him. I attended the Remiz Jacobs court appearance. That's why we are naming him publicly. The other cases, as I said, long ago, still under investigation, and also serious cases linked to gangsterism in the Western Cape.
Colonel Lestrade, thank you very much, sir. Let me release you to my other colleagues.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Linda, that's the Western Cape spokesperson of the South African Police Service, just giving us some insights in terms of these 3 gang members who are appearing in court today here at Athlone, but also elsewhere in Mitchell's Bay. But very, what's coming out interestingly, though, is the fact that, well, we are talking about 3 gang-related incidents here, and one is a case of an individual who shot and killed in cold blood someone in the very same precinct just outside this court on the 3rd of December 2025. However, the 2 other gang members who are appearing elsewhere in Mitchell's Bay, their cases date as far back as 2017, 2018, but they are appearing in court today. And of course, this as the result of the targeted, anti-gang unit raid that took place over the weekend here. So we can then, Linda, wonder how many of those that are still out there, but also the concerns really raised by some members of the committee we spoke to earlier on in terms of their safety. Some of them were saying that they are even scared to even be queuing up outside this prison, actually in this particular passage, but also as you gain entry into the court itself, the level of security is very tight. You can tell that, there is that fear from the authorities themselves, but also from the members of the public who have to use this particular court to really get the justice they are seeking, whether it's suspects or it's family members of suspect or the victim. So that's the latest from us here at Athlone, as Colonel Trott said that, well, the other 2 are also meant to appear today for different charges regarding a different incident that happened as far back as 2017 and 2018.